Hey people, how you doing? This has got to be the stupidest day that this country has ever been in. Yeah, I mean the stupidest day that we ever had in the history of this country. We done attacked a whole goddamn country, bombed him, killed a man. Four of our troops is dead, probably more. and, and they out there running around saying, we ain't in war. Hey, no, y'all mistaken. This ain't no war. So why ain't Trump said something about it? He got on True Social and told American people, well, some more folks might die, but we ain't at war. We just bombing people. we depleting our missile stock. They got some now. They they said they can't get the stuff right, so they doing like Japan did in 1940 something. They got kamikaze drone flights going on. They just shooting them in the air and trying to hit something, any goddamn thing. We the most powerful nation, naval, military in the world, and they got kamikaze drones going on. And then they told the Congress, well, they didn't do anything really, but Trump wanted to attack them anyway. We were not an imminent threat, but we had to attack them. And you got Lindsey Graham running around there saying he's the greatest president, even better than Ronald Reagan. he better than Ronald Reagan. He's the greatest president alive. And we should be happy to have him as our leader. Oh.
Well, one thing that him and I can't think of the guy's name, but he said they always wanted to bomb Iran. You know, he used to say, bomb, 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 bomb Iran.
Well, so, they did last June. They bombed them last June. I thought they killed everything. They said that they killed everything last June.
But they got missiles, Ed.
But they said they destroyed all they nuclear weapons, everything.
But they got missiles.
Well, they're going to get missiles back. Shoot, China's giving them missiles.
And those missiles are hurting Israel.
So that's Israel's fight. That ain't ours.
Well, it's ours now.
That's what it looked like.
Because they're saying BB and President Obama, President Trump are cahoots together in collaborating this mess. I don't know, man. You know, it's hard for me. You know, like we're not in the inside, we're not in the know, and no matter how much news you try to get, we still don't know. We don't know what's going on. But like I said, one of the scenarios was to stop that oil going to China, and that's exactly what is going to happen.
Well, they didn't even say that. All they said was it's a regime change,
but that's what's going to happen.
And then it's not a regime change, but they still haven't stopped the oil from going to China. China's still getting their oil. They ain't stopped it, and Trump ain't gonna stop it. They they can't stop that
They gonna
oil
have to
from
pay
going
duty.
there.
They gonna have to pay duty. They gonna have to pay duty, bro. We pirates.
The
You want to
oil,
go through?
the oil
They'll
is still going. China's still getting their oil.
Trump is using the military so that they can pay duty, and then he'll put that in that special account he got over there. Pay that duty.
If they keep this war going on for longer than a couple more weeks, our military stockpile is going to be so low that the general said that we can't even protect ourselves. We won't even be able to protect ourselves. That's a hell of a scenario there, Ted. Somebody would attack us or stuff now. Just a few more days or weeks, if we keep on going, we won't even be able to protect ourselves. But we got to go over there and invade Cuba now. He said, "Damn Iran, we got to take care of Cuba now. Cuba's our next goal. Is our next
Well, that's what
destination."
the Rubio and Cruz want, bro.
They going
Rubio
it.
and Cruz
He
want
said he
that.
go. He said he going to Cuba now.
You mess
we
with
going
Cuba,
to
then you messing with Putin.
we going to Cuba now. We going to
Hey,
Cuba.
you mess with Cuba, you messing with Putin.
Well, if you messing with Iran, you messing with Cuba with Putin. They Iran did just as close of a buddy as Cuba is. Excuse me. Mm. Man, I can't get rid of this damn cold.
You know, the thing is with, and this is, I'm gonna bring it back to what we're talking about, but this relates to it. The thing is, and I done said this a dozen times, people, when you got over 200 million people that just got off the boat in the last 125 years, first and second and third generation Americans, that have, most of them have gotten up, they've gotten pretty good, they're doing okay, and they don't understand the dynamics of this country. I mean, all of it, the flow and the fight that Black people have done to make this country to be just. And these people look at certain things in a certain way, and they think that a certain party is about capitalism. Well, at one time they were pretty much, but they were cronies, nepotism, favoritism, and what you gonna do for me if I do this for you? At one time, that's the way the Republicans ran their party. But now it's a whole new ball game now. It ain't the same now. And these people been hoodwinked, thinking that this particular Republican Party cares about them. And they're using the moral, and I'm putting it in quotes, fortitude of using different things like abortion, transgender sex, and gay sex and, crime, and they're using all those little things that make you want to. I don't want my kids around those people. I don't want my kids around this and this and that and blah blah blah. So they have brainwashed these people, thinking that they are the more moral compass. They have brainwashed them. Now, there is a certain things that are moral. That's true. But that's in your religion. The so-called unsaved person, like no matter what religion you are, you can be a Muslim, you can be a Christian, you can be a Catholic, you can be a Hinduism, you can be all those things. But every religion have their moral thing. That's your religion. And then you have a God to answer for. But this country, to me, is about freedom. If a person wants to be gay, that's their business. That's just my opinion. If a person want to be another sex or try to be another sex, that's their business. If a woman want to have abortion, that's her business. That's her body. That's the way I feel about it. That's the way America was trying to strive for. Because we are free, supposed to be. If I want to stand on the mountaintop and I want to talk about this country because I don't like it, that's their business. You don't have to agree with everything what this government is doing. Freedom of speech, freedom of the press. But you done got hoodwinked, and these people trying to stop all of that. I agree. Some of these people go too far. They got that stuff in schools and all that stuff. And a lot of things, they should leave sex shit out of school. That's just my opinion. Because you're there to educate. But there are people that are abusing kids. There are kids that are having mental problems because of whatever. We got a whole new world now with this media thing going on and all of this. So, and you're supposed to be an adult. You should be able to control your children. Else you shouldn't have had them. So you sitting up there talking about the school system and this and that. Okay, yeah, you should be involved in your schools. That's why they have PTA. That's the reason why you have conferences and all that. But the bottom line is, if you're not treating your kids properly, these kids come to school, they've been molested. What does the school supposed to do about that? This is the problem. And then they try to make like it's a major, major thing. It might be, I don't know, but I know I didn't have that problem with my kids bringing them up. Because I kept an eye on my kids and everything they did. Didn't mean that I didn't make any mistakes, but the point is that these people have made wedge issues out of bullshit. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But like I said, to me, a lot of people have just stripped their rights for the so-called moral standards that's supposed to be in your own religion or your own church. But when people are walking down the street, they can be whatever they want to be. Do whatever the hell you want to do, as long as it's not against the law. Hell, you can't even, a police see you spitting or throwing trash on the ground, you can get arrested for that. You can get a fine for that. You can get a ticket for that. So we got these 200 million people who came here to this country, and they're trying to negate the rights that we fought for. When we in school and they're trying to teach history and be inclusive with the Black history, they want to leave us out of everything, like we weren't even part of nothing. And yet we are part of every damn thing. I got a piece of paper right here in the newspaper telling us all the shit that we done and what we participated in. And if it wasn't for us, a lot of that shit you using right now and doing, you would not have it. And if I had time, or if, I don't want to take that time to do that shit, read your own history. Read some Black history. These people just right off the boat don't even understand. They think that all of this shit was made just osmosis. Some white guy in the corner did this and did that. No. Using a lot of shit that Black people created and invented. But yet still you don't want us to teach Black history. You don't want to learn Black history. You don't understand what we went through in Jim Crow era. The segregation, the separation of restrooms and drinking water, going to the restaurants and all that. You taking shit for granted. And then you want to criticize DEI. You want to criticize that kind of stuff. You got immigrants coming to this country criticizing DEI. You just don't understand what has transpired in this country. You've been brainwashed. You've been bamboozled, people. Just like you've been bamboozled right now, thinking that bombing some country is the right thing to do. For no reason. Is it a bad? If the leadership there was bad, yeah, evil. But Ed just said it. That ain't our fight. But now it's our fight now. And you get all these sales, all these people that's from Iran and other countries that hate America, and they live here. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to make sure everybody knows that you folks, our people over there in Texas who watch the show, tomorrow's the last day to vote, March the 3rd. Jasmine needs you all's help to keep her stuff going. She has been going around, and man, I'm very, very impressed in her campaign of what she's doing. I really am. I really I thought that maybe she was not going to be able to cross the finish line, but she's crossing the finish line. I think everybody, most of the folks over there know that if she doesn't win this daggone primary and stuff against Tallarico, something's going wrong. So you guys over there in Texas, get out there and vote, people. Just check out your congressperson out of the 30th district and stuff and everything, and the amount of stuff that she has done. Man, there's things that happen and stuff with her, Ted, that I had no idea that she had all that stuff going on for herself. And she has really been doing a hell of a job and stuff as a representative and stuff. And I know those people and stuff out of her district are going to be very, very, very sad to see her go, because she is a model and stuff that I feel that a representative, a House representative, should have for the people in their district. And some of these Democrats and stuff need to take a picture out of her book. This lady and stuff has committed her staff to be able to go out and visit every city in her district, and to have remote offices and stuff to go out and stay open from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night on some nights and stuff for the people and stuff who work in the daytime who need help. She has made an effort uh, that any federal funding that is out there that is available and stuff for small businesses and stuff and everything, her staff and her and stuff and everything want her constituents to come into her office and stuff, and they will actually help them to file applications and stuff for the funding and stuff that they have for small businesses. Even now, with Trump being in office and stuff, there are still monies and stuff out there that she has found, and she has openly made available and stuff to her people there in her district. I mean, she fights for her people in her district to have the things that they need.
Keep talking. I'll be right back.
Okay,
Go ahead.
she has. Okay, go ahead. She has. She has. She has done things and stuff for her folks there in her district, and she has openly asked people and stuff in her district and stuff, if you're getting ready to open up a new business, come and see us, come to our office and stuff, and if we can find some federal funding and stuff to help you to get your business off the ground, they will do it. That is unheard of to see a person in her position and stuff to do that. And she doesn't care if you have a minority business or if you just have a regular business and stuff, and you are Caucasian, you are Indian, or you are whatever. If you are in her district and stuff, she wants you to come there and everything, and she will, and her staff and everything will help you. She has made it her her own privilege and stuff and everything to bring in young people, and not to get rid of any older staff people and stuff in there, but she has made an effort and stuff to bring in young people into her campaign, into her office and stuff who work with her. There's a young man she said when she first started, uh, first became a U.S. representative, and she brought him into her office to work and stuff. And the guy was 20 years old at that time. He's 23 years old right now. He follows her around, and he's a part of her staff. So those, and she said, I'm older than Martin Luther King when he passed away, and I'm in that age group and everything and stuff to where I know that I'm not going to be out here in politics and stuff all of my life. So we need to bring in young people so they can see what's going on, so they can see how politics and stuff affects their lives and everything. So, and that when they do take over the reins and stuff from us and everything, that they are not starting out at the bottom, that they have a damn good idea and stuff of what's going on and how to manipulate themselves in this political environment. So I have to give her kudos and stuff for doing all that. Uh, Man, I think
I thought that was the MO for every representative.
they do. They
They're
have the
not doing
ability to
that.
do it. They have the ability to do it, but they're not doing it. They have that ability to do it, but they're not doing it. They're not actively going out there and doing it. They're only doing it for people and everything, their friends who help them to get into office. Anybody else outside of the folks who are not voting for them, they don't care about them. If you don't come to their office and stuff and ask them for something and everything, and sometimes you can ask them for something and they don't even help you. I When I first moved here into my district and stuff here in Georgia, I called my representative up and asked them to help me because we had some problems and stuff with everything with the FHA loan. You think them people helped us? Hell no. We didn't hear from them. Now that's their job. They supposed to deal with the federal government and stuff, especially FHA or whatever they have out there, or the Army Corps of Engineers. All of those folks out there who's supposed to be out there to help people, to help organization stuff out there. They did. We called them up, our representative up, and we never heard a word from them. Oh yes, we're gonna work with you all family and everything or whatever. Never heard
Nothing.
nothing. We had to go out there and figure out how to do this stuff our damn self. All we needed and stuff was some information from them about the FHA loan process and everything because we were trying to get a federal home administration loan, and we were qualified for it. But one of uh, the mortgagers and stuff and everything who was under the FHA program and stuff kind of screwed us around. And so we wanted to be able to find someone out there that we can get to contact these folks and everything, or give us a list of some other qualified FHA lenders and stuff there in our district, or someone that they knew who were going to be able to give us a loan because we openly qualified for it. But man, it was screwed up. But we never heard back from them, not one word. We finally bought a home, but that goes to show you and stuff and everything that they don't do anything. Even if you call them up, they don't. And that's their job to do that. But they do
And you're
take care of
right.
their friends.
And I remember, when I was in coaching, helping these little teenagers around this area. And I never thought about calling my representative because we were trying to find a gym to practice in. We had to practice outside. And
That's their job.
here in Florida, man, it gets hot.
Right.
And but I never thought about calling. Well, I'll take that back. It did cross my mind, but I just said, hey, I'll just call a bunch of churches, and the churches wouldn't. I only called a few, and they said, I'm sorry, but we don't. Whatever, this is for members only, and all that stuff. So, so I just let it slide and just kept on, coaching. But the
Hmm.
point is, I could have did better if I would have reached out, and maybe I would have got a gym, and I would probably coach a little while longer. But I didn't think it was fair to keep coaching and having these kids get up at 8 o'clock in the morning before the sun breaks out real good and get out there and practice.
Hmm.
And we didn't have no problems finding games. We could find games all over the county
Hmm.
and even outside the county. That wasn't no problem.
Right. That's their job to do that, and especially with kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, because you're
That
keeping a lot of
that
kids out of problems.
right,
Man, I had
right,
I had
right.
I had something like almost 50 kids, bro.
Oh man,
I'm telling you.
that that those kind of things and stuff, Ted, fattens up their resume as a representative and stuff for their district and stuff. Hey, these are some of the things that we did, and shit, man. If I had that going on, if I'm a representative, I'm gonna have one of my workers out there taking pictures and stuff and everything of the youth out there doing something, and that I done helped out and put them up there on our website. So this is what we do for our people. This is my job, and I'm here to
Because we
help
had
our
people
people.
sponsoring us, bro. We had a few people
Right.
sponsoring us. They gave us money. Some people gave us all kind of little things, and stuff like that. Because I went out there and hustled and asked people, and people, supported us to a certain degree. But I never thought about calling my representative on a serious tip because I guess I was just trying to do it on my own,
All right.
and that was
Yeah, but
my
we are.
my, my bad. I should have tried that.
But you didn't know, and that's something that these Congress people and stuff should make an outreach because, like I was talking about Jasmine and stuff, her thing is to get out into the community to areas and stuff, and they have town halls and stuff and everything in each one of her areas and stuff. When she goes to that city, she announces and stuff out there on her site and tells the local mayors and the city council people and everything that they're going to be out there and that they should actively asking people to come there to find out what they're doing and what her office can do for them. Something that none of the other folks and stuff do. She said she was actively involved in stuff and everything and getting. I think Biden had some kind of a project going on where they were doing research or whatever, and they needed a research facility and stuff. They needed four of them that he was getting ready to put in all around the country. And out of the four grants and stuff and everything for these facilities, research facilities and stuff, she got one of them in her district because she actively went out there and politic for it and say, hey, my people need this. And that was, and when they put that into that district and stuff, that meant that there was people who came there who had jobs and stuff there, all the way down to the janitor and stuff and everything that came in there to clean offices up and everything. People got jobs, and she made sure those jobs came out of her district.
Well,
Even if they weren't with research people or scientists.
One of the things that, and I'm honoring Jesse Jackson on this, Reverend Jesse Jackson. I was listening to a program last night. I don't know if it was this morning or something, and Ty was smiling, and he was saying, "This is where we need Jesse Jackson about, because he was internationally known, world known. He knew what's going on in politics. He knew something that was going on in the economic part. He knew what was going on in the social tip, and he had a way to make things happen. He was just that kind of guy. You know, you might not like his tactics. It seemed like it was coonery sometimes, and sometimes it seemed like it was too much. But he made things happen, and he made things change. He knew a way. Now, one of the reasons, I mean, he had a moral compass. Like he said, he wasn't never perfect now, but the point is he had a reverend in front of his name. So that gave him some kudos. Plus, he was a civil rights leader. He had the best trainer in the world when it comes to civil rights, Dr. Martin Luther King.
Mm-hmm.
And he learned from him. That's why when he went back to Chicago, he got out of SCLC, and he started his own program.
Operation
Breadbasket.
Right.
Then later on, Push. Then later on, Rainbow Coalition. He understood all of that. He knew how to work that grassroots and get things done, because there are forces that try to keep you back for progressing. And most of it, all it is about stopping you for progressing, helping people. And what he was doing is helping his people, helping us, black folks, a lot of black folks. And at the same time, he was helping everybody. He wanted to help everybody.
He brought white folks, Jewish people, all the people into his coalition. All of them there. But when he went out and marched, or he went out and picketed, there were white people and stuff there with him also.
Yeah.
Not just black folks. Yeah. And that's what made him powerful and stuff and everything, because he did not discriminate. Say, I need to get black folks here. He got a whole coalition of folks out there. That's why he called himself the Rainbow Coalition.
Yeah. And he even had gay people, white women, all kinds of people that were oppressed, because there is a force to try to keep people from progressing. There is a force, because when you are, I wouldn't say poor, I would say broke. Your parents, our parents didn't leave us a lot of money, or they didn't have the great job, or whatever the case may be. But we got by, we got our cars, we got our everything that we needed, food on our table. But the point is, there are people that were very, I would say, not very well off, but they was well off enough to do well for their kids. And I'm talking about a lot of these white folks and a few black folks. But the point is is that he was for those people, no matter where you came from, how you was born. Like he, according to the records, and they've been saying this for a while now, that he was born out of wedlock.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, that was horrendous. If your mother birthed you and your mother wasn't married, and you just got pregnant, and whoever the father was, he just gone and whatever, that was taboo, bro. And he weathered that storm. He weathered that storm. He was raised by his mother and grandparents. And that's who he was fighting for. He was fighting for all those children that were out there that didn't have their parents, or they had one parent, or they might even have two parents, and the parents was trying to make it, or they was raised by their grandparents. So many of them was raised by their grandparents. And that's what he was about, bringing people up. Because that's why he always said, I am somebody. I might be black, I might be poor, but I am somebody. I'm telling you, man. And I used to appreciate him, but I used to get pissed off at a lot of things he did.
Yeah.
But I still love the guy, man, because he was courageous. He had that it factor, bro. He was like Martin Luther King. He had that it factor. Who's got that it factor now, Ed? Who's got it?
There's a few of them out there, Ted, who got
Give me a name or two.
Well, I really think that guy and stuff out there in Colorado and stuff, he has the it factor. He just has not expanded himself. I can't remember his name and stuff and everything, but he's assistant Democratic leader and stuff there in the House now. They moved him up. He has that it factor and stuff, but they are doing him just like they did Jasmine Crockett and stuff and everything. Well, you need to wait until your turn, but they need to put him out there and stuff. Because I think that he's very good and stuff. He is a dynamic speaker. He's very intelligent and everything, and he knows what he's doing. But for some reason or another, they're holding him back. And why they're doing it, I think that we as black folks and stuff, we get to a point to where we have that the crab in the barrel uh, attitude that anybody who's trying to get out of the daggone barrel and stuff, most of us reach up there and pull them back in there, and that's what they're doing with him. But he's not, he doesn't feel bad about it and everything, but they are actually holding him back. That man is very valuable and stuff and everything for the Democratic Party, but they are just not letting him out.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of his name either.
I can't think of his name either, but he's very, very, very dynamic. He has the it factor if they go head on and just release the hounds, as they say. And a lot of them are afraid that if they do release him and everything, he's going to be very powerful, and they want to control them. It's a sad thing and stuff, and in our party and in our society and stuff that we do that. But there's room for everybody, man. It's a big tent out there, and I don't understand why we just do that. I look at Barack Obama when he first came into office and stuff. Man, he made damn sure that in his cabinet and stuff, he had a variety of people who he brought in with him, young, old, whatever, women, uh, people of color and stuff and everything, brown people, black people. They all came into a coalition. And then even now, as you look at how he's built up his presidential library and finally dug through all that mud and muck and everything that the people of Chicago and stuff was giving him from about building his presidential library, he finally got it done. And he got 4 women, 5 women, I think they said, who are his main folks and stuff and everything, who was leading this his library. They're the ones that help develop it and everything, and he's got them in charge. And I really like that and stuff and everything, that you don't feel bad and stuff by allowing them to shine, because they're going to give you their best effort. And if you allow them to do it, and you cannot feel uh, that you need that if you give them a chance and stuff, that they're going to make you look bad. They most of the time these people make you look good, and if you look good and they look good, then it moves everybody forward. They had a young lady who is the senator, newly elected senator and stuff from, I think, Maryland or New Jersey or something. She's a black lady. Her name is Esther Brooke or something and everything, and she was at one of Jasmine Crockett's gatherings and stuff that she did yesterday. She did a whole big gathering and stuff. We went to churches, she went to homes, she went to different organizations, and Jasmine brought her with her. And in one of those meetings and stuff and everything, they asked them about what they thought about what's going on today, and use a Bible verse to describe that. Jasmine said hers, and she got up and said, my folks always told me. And then there was a verse in the Bible. She said she couldn't remember what verse it was, but they said, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, take some folks with you. Go together. And that's what we need to do. Take people together, because the more we take together, the further we're going to go. And there's a verse in the Bible, she said, but she didn't know exactly what the Bible verse was. But I thought that was very pronounced and stuff and everything, that we are not practicing that. I know that the governor there of Maryland and stuff and everything, he's got that it factor. And I tell you what, man, Trump's very afraid of him, very afraid of him. And that's one of the reasons and stuff why he did not want him to come to that governor's meeting. But he came to the governor's meeting, but he didn't allow him to come to the Saturday breakfast, because he was trying to rein that black man in. That brother there has gotten too powerful and stuff for him. He don't like powerful and smart black men or black women. But he has the it factor also. And matter of fact, he keeps denying it and stuff. But I think down the road, he's looking to run for the presidency and stuff in the United States. He likes his job, he said, there in Maryland. But I do believe that he's going to run. He's going to go out there and throw his name in that hat for president. He might not do it in 28, but I know that's his aspirations and stuff there, to run for the presidency. You know what I'm talking about, right? The governor of
Yeah, I know
Maryland.
you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. But those are folks and stuff that I think, in my mind, who have the it factor in our community.
Yeah, well, those are two good people.
Hmm.
And I'm going to tell you, both of them are basically immigrants.
Yep,
And
they haven't. They're matter of
one
fact,
is from
both
Africa.
of them are like. I think both of them parents are immigrants.
Yeah, they're
Hmm.
immigrants. Now, here's the problem with that. And I'm not saying it's a problem, but I'm just saying this is the throwback, is that there are a lot of people who's from enslaved Americans that are here, and the only thing they're doing is putting down people who do not totally represent black people. They don't have black programs to uplift black people. This is what Adolf and FBAs want. And they don't fight for reparations. And this is the big stink of what's going on with Black America right now. It's a big divide, bro. And it's growing, extremely. Um, and I spoke about this about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. I don't know, but the point is that we're talking about lineage. Like when our forefathers, when we say our ancestors, go back 300 years, 400 years in this country, who went through the turmoil and all of that, land taken away, stolen, discrimination, went through the Jim Crow era and all of that. There's a difference, bro. This country owes Black America.
It's very interesting that you brought that up, Ted, right after I said something about Governor Westmore and stuff and everything being a black governor.
Because his family is from Jamaica.
They asked him about that one time, and he gave an answer. Man, it was I thought they had caught him up in everything, but he gave a creative answer. I forgot exactly how he put it and everything, but it was it wasn't what you thought, what we would have thought that he should have said. Even though he's black, and why they asked him that, knowing that his mother and stuff and everything was an immigrant, I don't know. But they asked him and stuff about that. What about reparations? You were a governor and stuff of Maryland and everything, and black folks need reparations. He gave a rather creative answer about it. He wasn't for it, but he gave an answer.
Well, that's the big stink right now. That's what's that right there. He got elected. He's doing good and great things in there in Baltimore. And the thing is that these people in these organizations, and I'm just telling you that it has really captivated a lot of people because, see, that was a big thing in the 60s. Big thing. And but at the same time, we were still fighting for our freedom. And the one thing that we was looking at apartheid over in South Africa. We was looking at a lot of our elitist scholarly people was looking over in other parts of Africa and how they were being treated. And even though we were a lot better off than a lot of these, countries in Africa, we felt that we had to help them because they are our cousins.
Mm-hmm.
So we focused on our cousins over in the continent of Africa. Now, some continent of Africa, some of those countries are doing very well. They were doing very well, but there was a lot of them, 54 countries over there, and a lot of them was doing poorly. We've seen the pictures. And so we was battling, trying to connect to the motherland, and here we are fighting for our freedom here in this country, and even connecting with the Caribbean people as well. So here we are now, where we are. I don't know what's going to unify us as a people. I don't have that answer. I don't have the answer. But I know that they owe us $62 trillion.
Well, let's not forget that the Reverend Jesse Jackson was also instrumental in apartheid also.
That's what I know.
Yeah, he was into apartheid really deep. He was out there doing demonstrations and stuff for him and everything here in this country. So he touched a lot of things, Ted, even though his last years and stuff wasn't what I would call dynamic or whatever, but his years and stuff that he was here and stuff and everything, he touched a whole lot of stuff up politically in this country and stuff and everything that helped out a hell of a lot of black people. He did that. I have to give him that. He didn't, like I said, his last years here on this earth and stuff, it wasn't that good, but in those middle years and stuff, he has something to be very, 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 very proud of.
Well, when you say they weren't very good, he just got ill. That man traveled probably to Africa, who knows how many times, and all over the world and all over the country. He was everywhere at one time, and that takes a toll on you, bro.
Yeah,
Eating all that bad food,
yeah,
and
I was
all of that.
mostly,
So his last 10, 15 years wasn't too good.
yeah, I was actually talking about his illegitimate child he had with his secretary.
Right.
Yeah.
I think she got a video out now talking about it. I didn't watch it, but the point is that they accepted her into the family.
Mm-hmm.
They did a nice little presentation about their dad. So, and they giving him his flowers. I'll tell you that right now. A lot of people around the country.
He's down in South Carolina now, in the state down there. They're gonna bury him down in South Carolina. That's where he's at now, down there. I guess they're gonna have his body sitting down there in state for a couple of days, so his family down there in South Carolina can come by, and the people in South Carolina can come by and see him. Because I really didn't realize that he was born down in South Carolina, and that's where he started out that run Jesse Run at right there in South Carolina. Run Jesse Run. That was his first primary down there.
Did you know that he was a college football star?
Nope. Never knew anything about him.
He was a quarterback.
Being in football. Nope.
He was a quarterback.
Yep. I didn't know anything about his real early years. I don't think when I knew about him, he came on scene with Dr. King, and especially when he was assassinated there in Memphis, Tennessee. He was actually there and stuff with him when it happened. But anyway, Ted, final word, man. We just about to end here, brother. We've been doing this show has really went on. I really enjoyed myself today, talking about what's going on. There's some bad stuff and everything, but there's also some good stuff that we talked about.
Well, the big question is now: should black people be concerned about what's going on, what's happening over there in Iran and Gaza and Ukraine and all of those places? And my thing has always been this. This is a small, small world.
Yep.
But yet, most of us haven't went anywhere.
Another funny thing.
And you've been to Africa, right?
Yeah, I've been to Ghana, Accra. Yep.
You've been to the Caribbean islands?
No, I've never been to the Caribbean islands. No.
Have you ever been to Mexico?
Yep, been to Mexico.
Did you go to Dubai?
No.
And see, I've never been to the middle. I've been to Dubai.
I know.
I've been to Mexico.
I remember when you guys left and went over there.
And I've been to the Caribbean islands. But I've never been to, the real, what we call, Israel and Middle East. It's a different flavor, bro.
It is. I even had a chance to go to the castles out there on the coast of West Africa. I was actually in one of the castles, and down in the dungeons and stuff, and saw the gates of no return. Very, very, very moving, man. It took me. It's unbelievable, man. It was very, very touching. Any black person here in the United States and stuff,
they ever get a chance, they need to go there to those castles. Man, it is. They still got it. They still got them there. They have preserved them. The castle that they have and stuff and everything. They keep it fairly up and everything. It's painted and stuff and everything every year, every other year when it goes down. But they have left the dungeons and stuff and the places where they held slaves and stuff and everything all intact, as it was when they first did it. You know, the floors and stuff in those cells and stuff where they housed the men and they housed the women and they housed the children and stuff and everything. They're still there. They're still dirt floors, and also they have a place there where they took people and stuff and everything who were unruly and they couldn't do anything with them. They took them in and put them in this. Oh man, it's horrible to describe it and stuff. But they took them and threw them in there, and then they let them die. They didn't give them any food, no water, no nothing. They just threw them in there and locked the door. And after they died, they had the other slaves to go in there and drag them out and bury them, or throw them out in the ocean and stuff, and let the sharks get them. I mean, most of them didn't realize and stuff that these sharks and stuff were smart enough to realize when these ships and stuff came into the port and everything to pick up these slaves and stuff, and they walked them through that gate of no return out there onto the docks and onto the ships. And they had sharks and stuff and everything who followed these ships and stuff across the Atlantic Ocean because they knew that they were going to get some bodies. Because as soon as they died, they unchained them and threw them overseas, threw them over the ship and everything, and the sharks feast on them. They're on their bodies. Horrible, man. But anyway, people, we're at the end of our show, and I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. And you guys and stuff who are not a subscriber to our show or come out to our show, you all are missing something very, very, very dynamic. History and stuff in the making here. We are presenting to you guys and stuff things that happened to us when some of you all wasn't even born, even and your parents probably wasn't even born. So come watch the show, people. Enjoy it. Have a good day. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.